playing in the league, man, you had some of the coldest routes in the game.
Thank you.
What went into crafting those routes, getting to that point where you were just cooking dudes off the line?
Yeah, excellent question, man. That's good, because those that's listening, man, listen in. You gotta love the game first and foremost. You gotta love it. So in that sense, I knew what I had and I knew what I didn't have. When I say didn't have, it was the speed. You know what I mean? I didn't have the 4.4, the 4.3, the blazing speed. So I felt like I had to figure out another way to get open, which was utilizing my balance and my shiftiness. You know what I mean? Being crafty. So what I would do is everywhere I go, I'd just be working on moves, walking down the street, walking in between people. I use everything as practice, you know, and you have to be that direct about your game, you know, and that was one thing that helped me. I utilized basketball. I thought, hey, nobody can guard me in basketball, so let me use basketball moves on football and see if it worked. And it did, and I just kept it going from there. Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome to hear, because like I think the league, or at least the perception of the league, is got to be fast, but you also got to win your way, right? Like what suits you the best, and if you can take that to the next level, it doesn't matter. Like we've seen guys like Keenan Allen, right? Runs like a 4.6, 4.7. They're like, oh, he's not that fast. He's like a third-round draft pick, and he's known as like the best route runner that we've seen in the league in a while. Like,
exactly. And big shout out to Keenan, man. We work together. But one thing about that, pace. You guys listening understand pace. That was a great question, how you built that up with people or players thinking that you only have to be fast, you got to be quick, get here at this time. And we see that a lot in NFL guys nowadays, you know, with certain teams. I can pick out a name, I don't want to say too much right now, but all they have to fix is pace, and it'll help them out so much more with creating space, you know, not moving too fast, utilizing counter moves, putting the DB in a situation where he has to react the way you know he's going to react because you put him there. It can get real deep, but it's super simple. It's just about having those repetitions and loving it.
So kind of like what you're saying is going slower actually can help you in the long run, because you want to get those hips turned right in one direction and then cut back to the inside and get them completely out of leverage.
Yes,
right?
and then be crafty. Utilize your arms, utilize your limbs. A lot of people, this is a good one, a lot of young players think to create space, you got to be away from the defender. You gotta have that space basically, but that's not how you create the space. You know, you got to be close to them. That way you can feel where they at, you can understand their movements, you can utilize your sneaky tactics like the chicken wing or pushing them by, and then that will get you the space you need afterwards. So yeah, it's pretty tricky, but I love it, man. I love seeing kids come in and like go slower, what? And then they do it, and then they see like, oh, it's so much easier. The game just opens up, man. I love that.
Well, I almost think of like Le'Veon too, back in his day as a zone runner. He would just kind of chop it down, see where the holes were hitting, and then hit it.
Exactly. It's all about pace. Yep. Right? It's all about pace.
Kind of similar, right?
Indeed.
So you got traded to the 49ers, right? You talked about how T.O. was someone that you looked up to growing up. What's it like being in that situation? Because I don't know too many people, like fans, can wrap their head around getting traded from one team to the other.
Yeah.
Take me through that whirlwind for you and what that was like.
Yeah, definitely a whirlwind. Great question, B. And I was happy. It was bittersweet. One, because I was drafted to the Buffalo Bills, and I had a goal to, you know, make changes there. I didn't ultimately reach those goals. So the bitter part came when I was moved to San Francisco. The sweet part about it is that's my hometown, so you know everything was cool. But yeah, I'm from San Francisco actually. Yeah. So yeah, like that was the sweet part about it, being back home. But yeah, I just felt like I had unfinished business. What I did to get through it, I utilized, like my wife, she was very helpful and instrumental in keeping me focused and balanced. I used the community as far as my peers, my NFL brothers. I would call, I don't know if you remember Darius Hayward Bay. Yeah, so I would talk to him. That's family. I just utilized that, you know, and that's something big to say because a lot of the kids or players, they don't communicate. You know, we feel like hey,
everything's a competition.
Exactly,
right?
Exactly. So that was one thing that helped me get through it was family and you know, using my voice to ask questions. How did you get through something? How did you do this? You know, and it ended up working out for me.
You you have any Harbaugh stories that you would care to share at all?
Man, I mean, Harbaugh was explaining how I was running around. He was like, yeah, he does that thing, you know, he goes like, you'll have to, if you guys listening, you might just have to watch the video on this, because Harbaugh is something special. You know his attitude, his personality. But he was explaining how I run routes, and everybody know at the time it was pretty different. So yeah, we let Stevie, Hunters Point guy from San Francisco. He gets on the field and he does that thing. So funny, but I love Coach Harbaugh, man. He kept everything good and focused. Definitely a player's coach. You know, all hats off to him. Who's got it better than us?
So I'm assuming, as someone who really prides yourself in your craft and your route running ability, does Brandon Aiyuk stick out to you as a route runner? And if so, like, what are some of the things you notice that he does that allows him to be a crisp route runner?
Yeah, so that's a good one. Brandon Aiyuk is one that I also see as a I call them space creators. There's types of receivers. You got the speed threats, you know, you got the whatever, you got the red zone guys, the jump ball guys. Yeah, possessions, yeah. So I feel like the space creator is like a possession receiver, because they can get open anywhere. And what I like about Brandon Aiyuk is his balance. You know, when I say balance, not just if somebody pushes you, but he generates a move, which I call come to balance. Shout out to Ike Hilliard, where you get your feet in a balanced position, and now the DB doesn't know whether you're going to go left, right, back, forward, pace. Exactly. And I see him use that a lot, and I think as he continues to get better and get his health up, his pace is only going to be even more accelerated in a sense of, he's already at a great level. He's only going to go up higher, you know, as he continues to get healthier and stronger.
Absolutely. Have you seen anything from Ricky Pearsall? I don't know if you paid attention to him. I know he kind of had a rough road to get onto the field, but anything that stand out from him?
Yeah, so I used to check out Ricky when he was with the Gators, because I'm a SEC guy. I represent Kentucky. But yeah, I always have support and love for this guy, because he was a gamer. He was the ultimate gamer, and I really loved his ability to be physical. When he was in Florida, it's things that the camera don't really pick up. How you can run through somebody holding you, you know, and still have that burst and that acceleration. Seeing him with the San Francisco 49ers is great, but right now he's just young. Yeah, he's ascending, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can bring.
Dude, I appreciate it, man.
Yes, love.
Thank you so much, brother.